This is the issue that we have to pay more attention for adulteration. So I think now let's start to pay attention for the Prof Yam presentation. And
Okay.
Prof Yam, this time of yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Ida.
Yeah.
So let me introduce myself. I'm Yam from School of Pharmaceutical Sciences, USM, located in Penang, Malaysia. So my expertise is pharmacology, and however, few years back I diversified my research field into this fingerprinting because I feel that fingerprinting is quite important nowadays because herb is getting famous and famous. Everyone using herb. Yet there's no good method. We cannot say not good method like in our Southeast Asia. At least we lack of the knowledge of fingerprinting for herbs. So I think this topic is quite relevant from the current progress and current development in Southeast Asia, especially Malaysia and Indonesia, which is we are located in tropical country and we full of herbs, and then herbs is our resources. Then we need to fully utilize the resources so that we can gain and improve our economy. So for herbs, everyone facing same problem. Not only Malaysia, Indonesia, even China also facing same problem. So today I will going to discuss the few methods. The first one is HPTLC. The second one is FTIR. Okay, for herbs adulteration approach. So without wasting your time, I straight away go to the second slide. Okay. So the first part, we are going to understand what is herbal fingerprinting. So this is the slide, and normally I will present uh, in conference or any related topic. So uh, to explain what is fingerprinting. Actually, herbal fingerprinting involve closely examinations helps to understand everything about them, similar to verify their identity. Like us, we have identity card, isn't it? For herbs, they don't have an identity card in nature, but we try to implement a method to make them become identified. Okay. This process including determining where the herbs come from, because the locations can be affected, the quality of the herbs. For example, the durian planted in Malaysia and the durian planted in Indonesia, even though they are durian, they are same in terms of DNA, but chemical fingerprinting might be different, and then the taste, of course, might be different also. So that's why examine the herb's compositions at a macroscopic level to identify what it is made of. So if you base on DNA, cannot tell you the content inside, cannot perform the real quality control. We need to do fingerprinting from the aspect of chemistry. No matter you want or not, there is there is a necessary step. Some people say that we have advanced equipment, we can run DNA, then we can escape the fingerprinting, chemical fingerprinting, whether can be accepted or not. For me, we cannot accept this approach because DNA will tell you the identity, but not telling the content. So in coming slide, I'm going to focus on compare the DNA and chemical fingerprinting uh, uh, for the herbs. Okay, this is the main issue uh, driven me to focus on herbal fingerprinting. This incident happened in Belgium involving nephrotoxicity and aristoroxic acid occurred in 1992 when the female patient who has consumed slimming pill containing Chinese medicine, and later they developed a rapid progressive interstitial nephritis. So the investigations revealed that the herbal ingredients, Staphynia tetrandra, which is highlighted in the slide, have been mistaken replaced by Aristolochia fungi. Aristolochia functi is a species of Aristolochia family, which is contain aristolochic acid. And this aristolochic acid might cause kidney failure. So this incident end up with 40% of the patients end up with renal failure. Okay, and the findings was published in Lancet in 1993, 1 year later. So why Stephania tetradran and aristolochic can be interchanged, meaning that Stephania is adulterated by Aristolochia, because by looking at these two herbs, you can see that's difficult to identify using naked eye. Okay, they are look the same. So there's a reason uh, why Stephania is adulterated by Aristolochia, because the practitioner they go and buy Stephania, but he or she might not have the experience to differentiate them. So that's why this incident happened. Start from there, everyone pay attention of fingerprinting and also the issue of adulterations. So fingerprinting generally can divided into two types. Okay, the first one we call it as a non-targeted analysis, and the second one is targeted analysis. Non-targeted analysis is like taking a wide angle photograph of an herb's characteristic. So during this non-targeted analysis, normally we scan the spectrum of the herbs. Okay, we call it as a spectrum fingerprinting. Okay, from there, this spectrum can give us a big pictures view of what is makeup. So you cover everything. So uh, the method that commonly used for non-targeted analysis is FTIR, Raman spectroscopy, and NMR as well. So among these few types of analysis method, which one is most useful? NMR and FTIR. You compare NMR and FTIR, of course, NMR is quite costly. You want to run a sample, you need to spend a lot, but FTIR is quite cheap in terms of maintenance and running sample. So that's why my research is focused more on FTI, even though sometimes I do NMR as well. But from my experience, I found that NMR and FTI is quite similar, meaning that NMR can adulterate and FTI also can adulterate. That's why I focus on more on FTI. A lot of people don't believe FTI is quite useful, but once you involve in FTIR, herbal analysis, you will realize FTI is quite useful. So for targeted analysis, normally we analyze certain things like we zoom the lens to focus a specific detail. So normally we have a marker. We try to compare the marker with your herbs or your extract. Okay. By doing so, you can run a quantitative measurements and qualitative measurement as well, of course. Quantitative measurement means that you can determine the amount of certain compound in your herbs or your extract. So the commonly used method is such as HPTLC, HPLC, UPLC, GC, GCMS, and LCMS as well. So depend on your ability. Okay. So the first part we are going to focus in HPLC for today for this targeted analysis. I will talk from the basic until the approach. So after few years of uh, research, this is the outcome or derived from my experience. So if you want to adulterate or you want macroscopy structures analysis, means that you base on the structures, then you uh, looking at the macro structures, and then from there you confirm the species or the sample that you have. So if microstructure is positive, means that it's similar to what you want to look at, then you go for second step, which is we call microstructure, which is you use histology. Then if let's say this a step, second step microstructures analysis is positive, then you can convert the species or what you want is okay. So if you cannot perform microstructures analysis because most of us are not botany, isn't it? We don't know how to uh, observe the macrostructure. That's why once you confirm the macrostructure is positive, then you go further for non-target analysis or targeted analysis. From there, you can come up with very conclusive conclusions. The plant is the plant that you want, or the plant is the plant that have been adulterated. So of course, if macrostructures analysis, you can also perform DNA analysis. Okay, nowadays in DNA analysis is quite costly. So in future, DNA analysis might be a trend to confirm the species instead of going to microstructures. You can straight away go to DNA analysis and then come back to targeted or non-targeted to confirm the quality of the herbs. So DNA fingerprinting and HPTLC, there are two different approaches. One is identity, one is quality control. So DNA testing is just like checking the plant ID, and then each will tell us the plant species, no matter which part we are looking at. Meaning that leaf, stem, and roots are all are same in terms of DNA. Okay. So for HPTLC is different. HPTLC can tell us the species ingredients that found in the plant, how strong they are, meaning that the content that present inside the chemical profile. So I give you another quite interesting story, which is there's a cases that happened in my country. So people go to China and purchase ginseng, and then he bring back to Malaysia and then do cultivations, and then cultivated and produce the product in Malaysia. So whether these two things are similar or not, actually it's not similar. But if you run DNA analysis, they are similar because they derive from ginseng from China. So their DNA is similar. So, but in terms of content, they might be not similar. That's why there's an important issue when we want to run DNA analysis. So if you refer to the publications, DNA is not a must method for herbs identity, but HPTLC or HPLC is a must. That's why the chemical profile is more important than DNA profile. Okay. So then we come to HPTLC. What is HPTLC and what is HPTLC? And then why we want to do HPTLC instead of TLC? Okay, HPLC actually is a setup that which is everyone agree, meaning that from Europe, from America, and also from Southeast Asia or Asian people accept this method is very useful, meaning that you can trust on the results if you run HPTLC. So the method have been tested and proven to work, so the results are reliable. That's what we call HPTLC. Yeah. So if you ask me whether HPTLC and FDIY, which one is better in terms of repeatability, for me, FDIR or other spectroscopy is better. Okay, I give you one example. You run HPTLC profile of same sample in Asia and Europe is quite vary in terms of RF value, quite vary because the condition there and the condition here are different, so might affect the result. But for FDIR, if you run here and run in other country, As long as you use the same calibration method, then might be similar in terms of fingerprinting or spectrum. So there is no doubt HPLC is very difficult to produce a database which is we can refer. But IR or other spectroscopy easily you can produce a database and you can compare with database. So there is a weakness of chromatography. So the chromatography problem is when you run in your lab and run in another lab might be different even though you follow the condition. Then you run it with different brand of chromatography device might also give you different results. Okay, so that's why it's very difficult to unite or standardize all method. Even though very difficult, but at least the scientists from Europe and the scientists from America they already put effort to standardize the method of HPTLC. So later we are going to discuss each parameter, why they choose this parameter and why they choose that parameter. There must be a reason why they choose. Okay, now we go back to HPTLC. So HPTLC is quite useful, and then because they are CGMP manufacturing practice compliance, okay, in Europe lah, but Malaysia we not yet practice. So for HPTLC with quality control, okay. So this is the comparison between TLC and HPTLC. I try to summarize. HPTLC is an upgrade of TLC. So of course, HPTLC is more costly if you want to perform the analysis compared to TLC, but HPTLC will give you more reliable, more accurate, and more efficient results compared to TLC. So I give you one example. Okay, St. John wort. The left-hand side, which is performed using same equipment but TLC plate. The right-hand side, we perform using HPTLC plate. You look at the resolutions, which one is better? HPLC, of course, is better. Isn't it? You can separate the marker compared to the first one. First one is hardly you can separate because the band cannot be separate easily because of the limitations of the plate. So I give you this is a marker compound. So you based on the marker, you can tell you the resolutions. Of course, we not just come to densitometer scanning. If you come to densitometer scanning, you might see a lot of things happen there. So for observation, I already tell you HPLC, the HPTLC plate is better than HPLC, sorry, TLC plate. So why the HPTLC plate is better? This is a SEM scanning of HPTLC plate and TLC plate. So the left-hand side indicate the uh, normal HPTLC plate. The figure B indicate the advanced or more expensive HPTLC plate. We call it as a microsphere. So the right hand side indicate the TLC plate. So which one is more better? Of course, the B better than A better than C. So from there, you know that the irregularity of the material on the surface of the plate will going to contribute to the resolutions of the performance. Okay. So if you want to run a HPTLC or TLC, you need to have this 6 steps. Okay, sample preparations. We prepare our sample. Of course, the method must be follow the SOP. You cannot say today I prepare using this method, tomorrow I using another method. Might give you different things. Okay. Second part is sample applying. Sample applying also important. You want to use manual sample apply application or you want to use auto sample applications. They will give you different result. Of course, for normally we start with manual sample applications for method development, and we come to the end state or come to the final state, we only use the auto sampling preparation. Even though the approach is quite direct, but sometimes they give you uh, not matching result. If you use manual preparation, then sometimes you adopt the method to the auto sampling applications might not give you the similar outcome. So after you prepare or you do the sample application, you run. We call it as a development. So development, you also have a manual development or using a environment control chamber for the development. Then after development, sometimes you need to do observations or you need to do uh, scanning. Okay, once you do observation of scanning, you feel that it's not uh, enough for you to differentiate, you can do derivative. So even derivative nowadays got many methods. You can do spray, fogging, dipping, different methods. So then finally we have the result that you want. So that's the whole process is quite costly. Okay, quite costly. If you want to do complete for one plate now around how much of Malaysian ringgit? Now 200 of Malaysian ringgit. Okay, complete set lah. Okay. Then the first, just now we discussed the sixth method. The first method is sample application, isn't it? So this slide try to tell you the way of apply the sample differently might give you different result. A and B are using a contact method. Look at the small tools that in the right hand side. This is the first device that produced by Kama. Uh, you can apply manually using these tools, but the outcome is showing in figure A and figure B. So figure C is spray. We call it as non-contact applications. So at the end, you will see non-contact will give you better resolutions because it's non-contact. If you contact sometimes you may spoil the silica that at the location that you contact with. So so that's why this is the difference, no? So for pharmacopoeia, normally they encourage us to use non-contact space applications method. So this is the non-contact or we call it spray sample application device that available in market. So beside Kama, there's another brand we call it as a Disaga. Also is a Germany company. So they also produce HPT DLC applicator, which is spray the sample on the HPLC plate. Okay. Currently, CAMAC also have the advanced versions of sampling applications. Okay, that one is quite costly. It's another story. Whether you want to use that one, up to the budget low. For me, I feel that CAMAC automatic TLC sample for is quite good. At this moment lah, is quite good lah. If you can't afford, then you can consider the Limo Max 5, which is shown in the figure A. So our school, we have both auto sample we call ATS 4, and also we have Limo Max for 5. Of course, DLC sample for auto is better than Limo Max 5. Okay. So you want to do the developments, you need to have chamber. Okay, actually there are few types of chamber available in market. The first one we call it flat bottom chamber. Look at the figure in A. This chamber we call it as flat bottom. The figure B we call it the top chamber, which is nowadays most commonly used. Why? Later I will going to explain why. Then the C is horizontal developing chamber. It's not common. not common, but still some people using. It's not common. Mainly this one is for method development because this horizontal chamber you can develop. Uh, you can run two sample loading in one chamber, meaning that you can run more sample in one chamber. Okay. So for TLC develop TLC development, okay, currently there are few chamber is available. The first one, horizontal developing chamber, which is just now I do discuss already. We don't need to repeat again. And we go to smart alert. Smart alerts was developed before automatic developing chamber 2, which is in the right hand side. So this smart alert chamber is can tell you when you develop the fund solvent reach which level, then you can use this smart alert to alert you. For example, you set 7 cm, then when the fund solvent reach the 7 cm, then the alert will give you the sounds and you go and stop the uh, development. So for auto developing chamber 2, everything is in programming. So you once you program everything, then they will run automatically. So we also have one this auto chamber development. So why twin top? Look at this figure. Okay, twin top is quite important because you want to saturate your conditions. Okay, your chamber. If you don't saturate your chamber, for example, you use precondition to run your development, or you use unsaturated uh, chamber to run your TLC or HPTLC, might give you different result. Okay, these are the slide.
Mm.
Okay, telling you that whether the condition is different, whether the condition is going will give you different outcome. Okay, look at the A is unsaturated. Of course, unsaturated will give you mm, more separate zone compared to saturated. Of course, unsaturated will cost a lot of time to develop the whole process. Okay, and C is unsaturated with the unsaturated also. Okay, unsaturated with the sandwich mode. Sandwich mode is some sort of like horizon developing chamber.
20 menit.
So from there, we can come up with one conclusion. Unsaturated will give you better separation because more time consuming. Okay, saturated will give you uh, good result, but less time consuming. So you need to sacrifice which one you want. So at the end, the pharmacopoeia they come up with a conclusion. They want saturated. They feel that saturated is better than unsaturated because unsaturated you cannot control the time. So it's not time effective lah. So okay, that's why they come up with the ideal saturated. Okay, this is the comparison between saturated, unsaturated, and preconditions using two chamber. One is horizontal developing chamber, one is twin top chamber. Okay, both of them is using same method lah, same plant. So from there, the same scenario also happened. Saturated, the separation is not that good compared to unsaturated, but saturated will give you very sharp, very sharp band compared to unsaturated. So so that's why at the end they select saturated conditions because you can control the environment. So the time of saturated also been standardized. The amount of solvent for saturations also have been standardized. Okay. So then we come to another topic, extractions. See, we know that we can use auto chamber. Now we come to extractions. Which method? Using Soxide extractions or using sonications? Okay, Soxide extractions is quite time consuming. Sometimes you up to 1 day, sometimes 1 hour. But sonication only 5 or 10 minutes. So you put your sample, you sonicate, and then you take the supernatant or you centrifuge or you filter the matter. You take the supernatant and then you run the HPTLC. So these are the figure. They compare two extraction method. S indicate Soxlex, U indicate sonications, and then different band. There are two pair. One first and second is one pair, third and fourth is another pair, and then fifth and sixth is another pair. This pairing means that they use a different concentration for extraction. At the end, they found that subset extraction and sonications extraction is not much different. So from there, they suggest sonication. Because sonication only spend 5 minutes, but the subset extraction will cost one. We spend 1 hours for the extractions. So they suggest 5 minutes extraction is enough to run the HPTLC. So now we go to the height of migrations. Okay, how far you want to migrate or you want the fund solvent to achieve. So from the result, they fear that after 6 cm, there's no much difference. Before 6 cm of migration, the resolution might be vary. After 6 cm, the resolution will be similar. So they come up with a conclusion 6 cm. This is the method run by IK, Dr. IK. So he do run the preliminary study in order to come up with the conclusion. So can you look at the figure C? This is a densitometer. So there's two lines, isn't it? The green color and the red dot line. So, okay, the green color is 6 cm of migrations. The red color one indicate the 4 cm. So from there, you compare these two densitometric, which one is better? Green color. Because the 6 cm migrations after 6 there's no much difference, so that's why they prefer 6. Okay. uh, okay, they do another study. Okay, they compare, they know that 6 is optimum, but they compare 6 and 8, then also scan the densitometric of the DRC plate using St. John Watt as a study subject. So at the end, they found that 6 cm you require 21 minutes, 8 cm you require 38 minutes, which is two times longer, two times longer than 6 cm. Instead of another 2 cm of migration, you need to spend double the time. So from there, they come up with one conclusion: 6 cm is sufficient. So that's why they stick on 6 cm. Okay, this is another study, but this study they are focused on humidity. Okay, Southeast Asia, we face a lot of this problem, humidity, because we are very humid, isn't it? Our humidity sometimes can achieve 80%. Okay, so from there, they come up with one conclusion: less than 30 is considered okay. If you can improve your humidity to 2% is better. But if in order to achieve this 2%, you need to have a special chamber which is contains special salt to help you to develop. So they fear that it's quite tedious, so they come up with a conclusion 32. Below 30, sorry, 33. Below 33 is considered okay. Then at least you need to achieve until 3%. Okay, these are the study have been performed. 33 can or below can give you a good separation. So after the discussion, these are the method, standardized method that's suggested by pharmacopoeia. So migration is 7 cm from the edge, bottom edge. So the band is 8 mm. The interval between one band and another band is 10 cm. These are the standard. So the the net migration is 6.2 cm or 62 cm because you apply your sample at the positions of 8 millimeter away from your edge, isn't it? So you have to minus 8, so become 62. Okay, this is standard. It's suggested by HPTLC associations. Okay, so at the end, they successfully to convince US pharmacopoeia and Europe pharmacopoeia follow the condition. These are the conditions. You need to use the 20 by 10 TLC plate, HPTLC plate. The bed is 8 mm and the sample application is 8 mm above the lower edge. So the maximum track is 15. You can do 12, you can do 10, doesn't matter. The maximum is 15. 15. So meaning that one plate you only can do 15 sample. So the development, you can use automatic development chamber. You can control the humidity to 33%. Then the saturation time is 20 minutes. And then the distance of migration is from the lower edge is 70 mm. So you can do derivations or you don't want to do derivation, depend on you. So once we talk about derivation, there's another issue. Certain plant, certain compound are not homophos. So you cannot use UV to detect certain compound. So that's why you need derivation. Whether after derivation you can quantify or not, yes, you can quantify. Okay, I have one publications which is we quantify the amount of a compound in a plant using HPDLC after derivations because the compound is not sensitive to UV. So that's why we use derivative. And then we check with LCMS method whether they are correlated or not. Yes, they are correlated. But you may ask me whether HPTLC is suitable for quantitative or not. If you got alternative method, you better use alternative for quantitative. Sorry, for quantitative, yes. Because the standard curve might be not a straight line, might be sigmoid. It's not sigmoid, it must sigmoid, they call it sigmoid. So it's not suitable for quantifications. But for quick check, you can use HPTLC. If you want to do quantitative, better you use the other methods. So after derivative, you can observe under UV, you can observe under white light, or depend on what you want. So these are the standard procedure which is listed in US Pharmacopoeia and also Euro Pharmacopoeia as well. So suggesting method for HPLC and TLC fingerprinted development. So you need to use 0.5 gram, at least 0.5 gram of the sample mixed with 5 ml. You can use 1 gram with 10 ml, doesn't matter. Because why? Because we want to find the gram representing your sample. Like you take 1 kilo, you take 1 gram, meaning that 1 gram representing 1 kilo. You cannot go and take the sample 1 gram and then you take whole of the sample. Your sample is not represent certain amount. So from there they come out with one conclusion. You need to have 1 kilo. From 1 kilo you take 0.5 gram, and meaning that this 0.5 is represent 1 kilo of your sample. So once you this the idea is quite different, you know. If you take 1 gram, straight away use whole 1 gram, go and do extraction. And another study, you take 1 kilo, you take 1 gram from 1 kilo, go and extract. The outcome might be different. One is represent 1 kilo, one is represent only 1 gram. So they suggest is 0.5 gram in 5 ml. Then use 10 minutes solidifications, and after that centrifuge, then take the supernatant for HPLC analysis. So if you want to develop your method, you need to do 15 solvent extractions from heptane until water. This water containing ammonia 25%. Okay, ammonia 25% is mainly to extract the alkaloid. So you must follow this one, 15 solvent extractions. Then you develop. You find which one is better for you to develop the fingerprinting of the herbs. Okay, this is a standard protocol. So if you want fast method, you can adapt these 5 mobile phase. You can try one by one for the 15 extract. Okay, you try one by one. From there, you definitely will come up with one conclusion: which one is better, which extract is better, which mobile phase is better. So these are the 5 common mobile phase normally suggested to you for the method developed. Let's say number 2 is optimum for you, but you feel that number 2 is not perfect yet. You can modify the ratio in order to achieve or to get the perfect mobile phase for your development. These 5 are the suggested. Okay, if you don't want to use the 5 mobile phase, you can develop your own mobile phase. Okay, using level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4 approach. Okay, level 1 using single solvent as a mobile phase. So level 2 is you after level 1, you see which one is give you a good result, you combine, then become 2 solvent in one mobile phase. Then you play around the ratio, then you come out with the result. Level 3 is from the level 2 result, you select which one is good, you mix them. For example, here they give you this and that one is good, then you combine them together and then become level 3. So until level 3, definitely you filter out all all useless mobile phase. So you normally come up with 1 or 2 useful mobile phase. From there you mix them, and then at the end you get level 4. Level 4 is the mobile phase that give you a good separations. Okay, this method is quite tedious. From A to 4, I think you need to spend more than 50 slide or 50 plate. So normally people start with the 5 mobile phase and modify for the previous 5 mobile phase, which is I listed in the slide. Normally they use that one. I also have experience to start from this. So I didn't prepare the slide to show you how I do level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Actually, this one can be done. Only thing is tedious. You need a lot of work to complete this one. So these are the example shared by Dr. IK. So how they're going to develop the mobile phase using the 4-level approach. At the end, G is better than H. No, sorry, H is better than G at the end. They found that H is better than G. So this slide try to tell you if you want to mix 2 different solvents, you need to consider whether they can mix up or not. they are miscible or not. If not miscible, there's two layers, isn't it? The two layer might also affected your development. So better you choose the non-green combinations, which is which is the solvent can be mixed together. So another thing is some people also use two MOVA phase. I do this one before, meaning that I run one MOVA phase first. After finish the one MOVA phase, and then until 7 cm, then I dry the sample, and then I write again. I develop again using second MOVA phase. So from there, I can get more separation. Some sample also do development, two-time development, but depend on what you want. But if you come to the extent what you want to use two-time development is meaning that your method is useless. Okay. The beauty of HPLC is easy and straightforward and fast. If you want to develop using many develop with many types of mobile pay means that is you lost the the initial idea of HPTLC. Okay, after you come up with the good mobile face, good system, then you need to do system suitability and robustness study. These are the parameters you need to perform. Okay, you may ask me limit detections. Up to you. Sometimes limit detection is very difficult to detect because the linear linear curve is not linear. They call it paranormal. If I polynomial, paranormal. They are not straight. If you focus on small portion, of course they are straight, but you lost the initial idea of HPLC. Normally, the idea of calibration is paranormal or polynomial. I forgot. I think it's paranormal. It's paranormal. Means that it's not straight. Because why? The plate can be saturated. That's why it's difficult to get a straight line. It's different compared to HPTLC. HPTLC, uh, the sample at the end will drain out from your detector, isn't it? But here, the sample is straight, stick in the HPLC bed. That's why it might cause accumulations. Okay, or we call it as saturations. So these are the parameters that you need to run. Okay, in order to come up with a good method. So another method which is developed in 1920, 2020, okay, we call it as interactive calibrations. So this interactive calibration is try to minimize the use of DRC plane. So what we do is we run many times of calibration curve using the standard lah. And at the end, we sum up with one calibration curve. Okay. After sum up with one calibration curve, we use only 2 points and the sum up calibration curve for future compound quantification purpose. So instead of using 6 or 7 standard curve, different concentration, now we are using 1 or 2 with the help of sum up calibration. So at the end, we found that it's quite good. The RS is quite low. So you can refer the paper that I published in 2021 or so, I forgot already the time. So this is a new concept. Okay, you can save your time, you can save your compound as well. And then you can load more sample in one plate. So okay, so we come to another topic. FTIR. Okay. FTI basically got two types. One we call it as NIR, or another one we call it as a MIR. MIR stands for mid infrared. NIR stands for near infrared. Today we are going to discuss on MIR, mid infrared. So if you refer to the publications, basically they're going to publish three spectrum. One is primary, second we call it as a ordinary FTIR spectrum. Second one we call it second derivative FTIR, meaning that you derive from the first one becomes derivative. The third one is 2D IR. Okay. So this combination of three steps, we call it as tri-step identification. So what is derivative? Okay, derivative is quite simple. You are using mathematical algorithm. You derive the spectrum of original spectra, then you derive and then become first derivation, and then you do some second time derivation becomes second derivation, third, and etc. So at the end you get first derivative, second derivative, third derivative, and fourth derivative. Okay, depend on how many type of derivation that you perform. Then you may ask me which one is better. First or second is derivative is better. For my experience, second derivative is better than the others because second derivative is provide you the sufficient information compared to the others. Okay, compared to that, that's why second derivative is better. So if you combine them together, you will get this whole schematic program. Okay. So what is second derivative? Okay, second derivative is same sample. You influence the sample with temperature, then alternate 10 degrees Celsius, you run one screening. So meaning that I start with room temperature 20 degrees Celsius, and then later on, I increase the temperature to 30, then you screen again, and then you heat the sample to 40, you screen again, and then you heat the sample to 50, you screen again. So at the end, you get a series of spectrum, which is appear like this overlap spectrum. After you have this overlap spectrum, normally we use software to generate 2D. Okay, 2D got two types of synchronous and asynchronous. So same species from different location, they might have same FTIR or ordinary FTIR spectrum, but definitely the 2D might be different. So normally we use 2D to differentiate the locations of the house. Okay. So how this one perform is quite it's not, you cannot consider tedious, but at least you need to know the mathematical. This is a mathematical algorithm that we apply for into this series of spectrum to come up with this 2D spectra. Okay. So we come to another topic, which is we call it as brochure of FTIR. So normally for FTIR, we what we do is we run many sample. Then at least 80 sample from different batch, different location, or different time of harvest. Then we come up with one database. Especially, for example, Tongkat Ali. I collect 80 sample, I run 80 sample Tongkat Ali. And I have the Tongkat Ali database. So once I have the database and I run another unknown sample, and then once I finish the unknown sample, I will use a statistical analysis method to compare my database with unknown sample. See if the sample is fall within or between or outside my database, then you can consider whether the plant is similar or not. So this approach we call chemometric approach. So chemometric, we have PCA, PLS, or PS with DA or SINCA. Different types, depend on what you want. Okay. So there's a software available. You can download. They call it as Umetric SINCA. Now I already come to 17 versions. You can download, but they give you 2 weeks of trying period. You try, and then you practice and see whether you know how to do it or not. If you don't know how to do it, I offer you, if you free, we can make a class for this chemometric. Okay, I quite familiar with chemometric. Okay, analysis. Of course, you want to run chemometric approach for FEI, you need to have a lot of sample. Okay, so currently, chemometric, they find another alternative analysis better than chemometric. They call it as AI analysis. Either using deep learning or machine learning methods. So my team, we do machine learning and also deep learning as well. Deep learning is far better than machine learning. Deep learning, we call it as CNN, convolutional neural network. Okay, far better than machine learning because the algorithm is only one. Machine learning, there's plenty of algorithm, depend on what type of algorithm you want to do. Later, I'm going to share one example with you. So these are the first paper I published using FTIR. Okay, for sample adulteration, published in the Spectrochemical Part A, which is a quite famous journal, even though imperfecto only 4 point something, but I can consider Q1 top journal in a spectroscopy. So what we do is we collect 3 types of sample: wall, cultivated, and tissue culture. Because why? This Ectocerus robaceae is very expensive herbs in China. 1 kilo can cost more than 10,000 ringgit. So that's why wall type is quite rare, and normally it's adulterated by cultivated or tissue culture, right? Okay, so we try to develop methods to differentiate them. Finally, we able to do so. So these are the outcomes. So while cultivated tissue culture, they have their own identity. Can you look at the left-hand side here? This is the ordinary spectrum. Look at them. Walls astropic in this zone compared to tissue culture or cultivated, because these zones are caused by kaolin. Kaolin is a mineral. Because wall, they contact with the soils directly, isn't it? So that's why they can absorb the mineral, special mineral from the soil. That's why these few peaks are quite obvious, and also located here are quite obvious. From there, you can differentiate them. So you can use ordinary, you can do 2D. 2D is here, or second derivative. So we do some more analysis. We compare different different types of cultivations from 1 month until more than 1 year. So at the end, we found out that if you do tissue culture, you get the plant, then the plant you go and plant it in the soil, become a cultivated one for more than 1 year, then the structures will be appear like more type. So from there, we cannot say that you cannot adulterate, but you need to out adulterate with proper plant. So these are the outcomes. So that time I don't have the chemometric software. I use the Perkin Elmer software we call Simca. So Kimpa can help us to reject and accept and recognize. Okay, it's quite good lah. But you look at this value, rejection rate for wall is quite low compared to the other because cultivated one might also sometimes be considered in wall type because just now I mentioned if you planted for more than 1 year, the appearance will be similar to wall type. Okay, these are the first paper that related to FDIR, which is published by my team. So, and then after that, we do another study. We ask my undergraduate student go and do sampling from the medical hall from different locations in Malaysia. And we found out that certain herbs is adulterated by certain herbs. Here we found out that the Guan Mu Tong is adulterated to Chuan Mu Tong. Guan Mu Tong is Aristolochia species from Aristolochia family. That's why Guan Mu Tong is contaminated. And then supposedly this compound should be prohibited, but I don't know why it still appear in the medical hall. And this compound consists Aristolochic acid. So from there we do the study, and then that time I have chemometric analysis ability already, so I use chemometric. And then I also start machine learning classifier. I compare both. So look at the result. The result is machine classifier give you good result as well as chemometry. So we do programs, 9 type of machine learning algorithm. Only few of them are able to separate lah. This RBF, random forest, and J48 are able to separate them. So the result is quite good lah. It's 99%. Up bond and the low bond is 98%. So the mean is 99%, meaning 99% able to differentiate them. So after that, we move further. We do 2D. Just now the 2 sample I shared with you is only 1D for chemometric or Simca analysis. Now we move further for 2D. Because 2D is a huge data. You imagine your data have 3,000 multiplied by 3,600. 3600 multiplied by 3600. The data is more than 100 megabyte per one figure. So it's impossible for us to implement this data straightforward for analysis. So we need to reduce the resolutions. Once you reduce the resolution, you are sacrifice the sensitivity or data. Okay, that's why we come up with another method in order to save back the sacrifications. So we do 2 combination machine learning. One is multi classifier, one is machine learning classifier. So we combine 2 machine learning lah, meaning that we combine 2 machine at the end we come up with good result. Okay, this one also published is Acta Planta A. Acta Plant A part is spectrochemical. Okay.
Oh.
So until this paper, after we publish the inventor of 2D IR, the name is I forgot already. Is an American Japanese. He write an email to us. He say that this is quite useful for them to identify, meaning that he also recognized the result from 2D. Now, currently what we have is we already come to CNN level already. Then that means that we use a deep learning method to interpret the the spectrum. So the first paper we're going to publish soon. We already finished three or five analysis, but we are writing the thesis. The journal we are planning to publish. I think sometime in this year. So hopefully we can publish on neural network. Okay. The idea of FTI is when you run the sample, you upload in the cloud, then with the programming, then the user can upload their spectrum and then compare to your data bank. So and then you get generate a, a precise analysis. Okay. So AI and cloud will be the future for this FTIR. So one on the one we have to accept AI, one on the one we have to accept the cloud, or we call it as data bank. So so thank you very much uh, for your time. Any question you can ask me, or any idea you want to share, or anything you want to discuss with me. Also you are welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Very interesting presentation from Prof Yam. I have experience with SPTLC, but maybe I don't much have experience with FTIR, Prof. Well, I think it's very interesting to combine both method for the adulteration detection.
Okay.
So maybe the student have any question?
Yes, me. I am Buddha.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for the time. Actually, I have two questions here for Prof Yam. The first question is about DNA analysis because I'm curious about this. For DNA analysis, is is that we use Western blot or ELISA or PCR or what kind of method we use for the analysis and what method we identify for the analysis, Prof?
DNA. What you mean is DNA analysis?
Because uh, in your presentation you have wait
Do you
for herb fingerprinting for herb fingerprinting there is
DNA fix.
analysis that is new that's new for me. So
DNA.
I'm curious about that. Yes, the analysis for
Okay.
herbs.
Okay. DNA so far they come up with three, if I'm not mistaken, three segments. They are not analyze all the segments. They'll come up with three segments. Okay. I forgot STA, or I forgot the name, three segment only. But at the end, they come out with one conclusion. The STA one two is better. I forgot the name already. STA two or something like that. Is better. So what they do is they do sequencing. They run the sequencing. Sequencing. They need to know the sequence of the uh, uh, they call gene sequence. So only once later, if you give me, I will send you the information if you want. So actually, China pharmacopoeia going to include DNA as soon as possible because they already complete DNA fingerprinting for all 700 and something 760 plant DNA. Then For animal fingerprinting, now they already moved to proteomic. They already use LCM SMS to identify the amino acid of animal plant, animal herbs, meaning that not animal herbs, we call it as animal materia medica. Because in TCM, they use a lot of animal things. So later, if you want, I share you the books and also uh, the paper. And for DNA fingerprinting, we also use one time only because it's quite costly. Then we use for porcupine bezoar. Porcupine bezoar is quite famous, isn't it? Even though in Indonesia also quite famous, isn't it? The bezoar for porcupine. We go for porcupine, or we call porcupine date. Date, D-A-T, date. So we run DNA fingerprinting because that time we run so many methods we cannot identify them because it's very different. One date and another date is different. So no choice, we run DNA. We found that porcupine DNA is there. So that's why depend on your approach, see what type of analysis you want. Of course, DNA analysis is quite costly, more than 2,000 per sample. The consumable that we purchase. What we do is we buy the primer. Then of course we extract the DNA first skin, and then we find the primer. Then we do RT-PCR and then amplify. Then we do sequencing, and then we look at the sequence of the primer. They use the primer to start the sequencing, and then we look at the gene. So how many byte? Only 300 plus the byte. Only 300 ATCT, 300 pair.
Okay. For the DNA analysis, Prof, is this more for authentication than adulteration detection, right?
Yes, more towards authentication rather than quality control.
That's the point. Okay, Najib.
Yeah, siap. Jelas. Can I continue for my second question?
Okay.
Okay.
For TLC development, I read that there is unsaturated, saturated, and precondition. What's the difference
Yes.
about precondition and saturated? Is it same or any different?
Oh, they are different. Okay. If you look at the figure here, unsaturation means that you do not saturate. Normally we put solvent here because this is a twin top chamber, isn't it? Twin top, you can put saturation solvent here and development solvent here. So for unsaturated, you are not using saturated solvent here. So you should run your sample with development solvent. Okay. For precondition means that you didn't put the what we call it as development phase. You only put saturated solvent here. So at the end you will find that the band still migrating. Only thing is very slow. This one we call preconditioner. And saturated means that you put both with filter paper here. Why? Filter paper is going to suck the solvent and also will evaporate the solvent. So the condition will become saturated. So they prefer this condition rather than the other two.
It's mean for precondition, there is no paper there. That's right.
There's no paper there. There's no paper there.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Another question? No? Najib?
Cukup with that sebenarnya.
Maybe from another student, there is a question.
Yes, Miss Ida, I want to ask a question for Professor Yam.
Yes.
So, Professor Yam, thank you so much for the explaining. I want to ask, is there any herbal industry that use the standardized TLC method to detect adulteration? And how to make industry to adopt the method if there any? Okay. That's
You means that evaporate compound. Evaporate compound.
I mean,
Or
is there any herbal industry that use the standardized TLC method to detect adulteration in their herbal plants? I mean, before they market their products.
in Malaysia there's one company, a big company. They use HPTLC, but in China, HPLC is a mass analysis method. So China already come up with standardized extract. They not only have standardized herbs sample, they already have standardized extract. Meaning that if let's say I buy plant A, I want to check whether the plant A I buy is actually the plant A that same as the plant A that listed in the pharmacopoeia. I can go to the authority board and then purchase the standard herbs plant A. Then after I purchase, I can run my analysis. Or you can go to authority agency to buy standard extract for plant A, standardized extract, so that you buy and then go back and then run to compare your extract with the standardized extract or your herbs with standardized herbs. I think this is a trend. I think Erlangen should grab the opportunity, so develop the own database so they can for Indonesia herbs, so that you can share with industry and educate them. So industry, if let's say you didn't enforce, I don't think so. Industry going to implement. Industry only performs or only adapt or only use HPCR in enforcement, force them to do so. So like what happened in Malaysia, we not yet come up with a policy to force them to use HPDLC. Okay, at the end, if I think in coming 5 years, the enforcement are going to force them to run HPDLC. Okay, for fingerprinting. In China, HPDLC is very common. Every batch of the herbs extract or the raw material you buy, you need to run HPDLC.
Okay. Okay, Anissa.
Yes. Okay, ma'am. Thanks very much for the explanation.
Okay. There's another question from another students.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can
Okay.
I ask Prof Yam a question? Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Yam, for the presentation. In the last presentation, you tell us about artificial intelligence or AI, and the idea of using AI is very interesting. You give us an example of future plan using a FTIR application in AI. Meanwhile, my question is, how about HPTLC method? It is possible to analyze HPTLC result using AI, or it's only suitable for FTIR?
Okay, it's a good question, sir. Okay, if depend on densitometer or densitometric that you want to use for AI or you want to use the picture. If you want to use the picture for AI, and then it's no problem. Only thing is Only thing is whether the result is always similar or not. Okay, if you use densitometric, I give you one example. Look at the screen here. Whether the resolutions or the peak that you have is sufficient for you to run the AI. Okay, if you use picture, okay, AI
Yes.
able to read the picture, but pictures is possible because picture give you a lot of information, including the color or whatever. So you need to run. No? If for me, I also don't know whether can be performed now, but theoretical can be performed. But densitometer theoretical is very difficult to perform because densitometric only few picks, isn't it? If you got experience of running HPTLC, only few picks only. Okay, only the pick pattern whether it's sufficient for you to identify or not. Compared to IR, IR will give you a lot of information, isn't it? Because the point is 3,600 point. We scan 4,000 to 300, 4,000 to 400. So the net is 3,600. So here you only got few picks only. Whether this pick is sufficient for you to perform the AI analysis or not. For me, if you want to perform analysis using AI, then the image is better.
Okay. So it's possible, right, using the densitometry, the data and the color analysis.
Densitometry, I don't think so is possible. I think so. I
Okay.
think
The color.
uh, this
Okay.
one is possible.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prof.
But so far, I didn't see any publications using AI to interpret the HPTLC plate photo. So far, I didn't see any. Because I don't know, because sometimes you straight away you can use naked eye to identify, you don't need to use AI.
Yeah. Okay. So
Like
is there
IR,
any experiments?
I do discuss with Dr. IK, but he didn't highlight that there's AI available for this analysis.
Okay.
In future, you might plan. You might plan.
So if there any is very interesting and very helpful. Yes, Prof.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prof.
Okay. Okay. Are there any question from another student? No? Okay. Okay. Maybe the student interested with being the main this research about adulteration, about the development method for adulteration detection. Maybe if any student interested with this research, can we contact you, Prof?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. So recently, they told me there's another analysis skill have been introduced to NMR, which is you can use NMR for quantitative.
Quantitative NMR, Prof.
They call quantitative NMR. But I haven't tried before. I don't know whether it's working or not.
Yeah, but it's very costly using NMR, Prof.
NMR. Here we got NMR machine. If you want to use it, then
Ah,
you can send a sample, but
okay.
with solvent. Because I do subscription for 1 year, every year I do subscriptions. If you isolate compound, uh, you want to study the structure, isn't it? I can help you to run
Yeah.
1D and 2D so that you can bring back the result and interpret.
Okay. Very interesting lecture today from Prof Yam. maybe another lecture we continue with
Chemometric.
chemometric, yeah, Prof.
Chemometric. Okay.
I will arrange for that.
Uh,
Okay. Thank you, Prof, for today.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah.
See you.
See you
Bye
next
bye.
Bye, Prof.
Bye.
Lucu banget Profnya.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye. Oke. Untuk kelas yang standarisasi nanti case study-nya akan saya kirimkan ke grup ya untuk kelanjutan hari ini. Oke, saya tutup, saya akhiri. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang.
Selamat siang.
Masih belum.
Beda.